What do we do? What do we do? Like fans, like boxing fans. I just picture you guys with your hands in the air, like waving them around, like you just don't care and shit, and just running around, like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We have a problem. What do we do? And somebody yells a solution to a very logical solution to the problem, and then you start waving your hands even more and running faster. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. What do you mean we can't do that? No! Like, you guys, man, a lot of boxing fans out there are the most dramatic motherfucker. Alright, like, shit can't be done. Alright? So what am I talking about? I'm talking about this weigh-ins, man. And I'm talking about fighters dehydrating and ballooning up in weight. And what do we do about this problem? You know, like, I've always thought, like, we already had a way that worked. Okay? It was called same-day weigh-ins. Alright? You begin to have same day weigh-ins, okay? And I know, like, a lot of you grew up, even I grew up, just watching same day weigh-ins, so we believe that's just the way it should be, right? Like, well, that's just the way they do it. There's no other way. Like, you know, like, they just don't believe, like, there's another way. It's like the way. You know, that's boxing fans just get stuck with the way things are. You know, like, hey, like, I want to see these two guys fight. You know, what's going on? And it's just the way it is. You know, just picture them with their eyes wide open, like, it's just the way it is. You know, like, what do you mean it's the way it is? It's the way. You know? Like, look, man, bring back the same day weigh-ins. It doesn't work, no. Like, it's just the way they talk about it. And we bring back same day weigh-ins, they're going to start dying. Everybody's going to die. Like, if you bring back same day weigh-ins, like, everybody's just gonna fucking die and shit. You know, they're all gonna die. They're gonna die. You know, they're gonna drop like flies. Like, it's just like, what? Like, you all don't believe, okay, that certain fighters are still gonna go down on the same day weigh-in, are still gonna drop all that weight and then balloon up all that weight in the same day. They like. Don't you understand the big reason, the big component to this is that they have so much time to rehydrate from the afternoon on a Friday, and their fight isn't till like 10 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday night. Right? So it's over 24 hours, over 30 hours that they have, okay, in some cases 34 hours that they have to rehydrate. So of course you don't, oh my God, they take advantage of that? Yeah, they're going to take advantage of that. Okay, why wouldn't they, right? So this is the solution to the problem. Same day weigh-in, okay? They're not going to drop to the weight the same day that they would if they had 30 fucking hours, okay? You have a same day weigh-in. And that's it. Now, there's other things you have to add on to that. It's not as simple as just that's, okay, same day weigh-in, that's it, right? First things first, you give them a year. Announce it a year in advance, all right? 1 year in advance. Hey, motherfuckers, May 10th of 2017, we're going to begin same day weigh-ins, just FYI. Right? And then you begin to transition from here on out. So how do we do that? How do we transition? Well, you transition by, you know, you continue having the weigh-ins on Friday, right? And then you do another weigh-in the next morning, and if they go up a certain percentage, you penalize them, you strip them of the belt, you cancel the fight. No! Like, yeah, that's what you got to do. But you can't do that! Of course you can do that. What do you mean you can't do that? Of course you can. Right? These guys are professionals. Okay, they got to get shit done. Right? And then that's a good way to start the transition process. Right? And then, of course, after the year, you begin same day weigh-ins. But that's not possible. It's not the way. Like, it's fuck the way. Okay? All right? Let me tell you something. Okay? It worked just fine for almost a century. Right? And I understand. Well, the reason they got rid of it, Yeah, the reason they got rid of it because they started adding all these retarded weight classes, right? Okay, they started to add all these stupid weight classes that have no business existing, right? Most of the deaths in boxing and guys who are way too dehydrated, and it's all in the lower weight classes, right? I'm not saying it never happens. There's going to be some jackass going to pull up some article of a middleweight being dehydrated. Of course it happens in all weight classes, right? But it happens more with the lower weight classes, right? Now, no, you can't do that. Oh man. But if you do that, then what? Then what? Then we have less weight classes? That's it? That's it. Really. All right? Look, man. All right? We got to cut back on the weight classes. Right? It's just what we have to do. Let's kind of analyze this for a moment, okay? We have to acknowledge, say, yes, there's going to be fighters that still weighing on the dot. Okay, and they're going to rehydrate a little bit. That was happening during the same day weight, right? Fine. Not 25 pounds, right? But they're still you're gonna have guys that do that. But just in general, though, if we cut back on the amount of weight classes, all right? Yes, we're gonna have less weight classes. That's true, okay? But we're gonna have to change the way. You see, I've told people to do this countless times, and for whatever reason, they don't want to do it. You guys spend all day on box strike, but you can't do this. You can't do this one thing. You just look at the red and the green. Admit that's what you do. You look at the red and the green. Okay, that's all you look at. Okay, but get away from the red and the green for a moment, right? Put the red and the green aside. Pretend you're colorblind when you're on box strike for once. Okay, just please for once. Just be colorblind for one fucking day. Right? Go back and look for title fights, okay, in the middleweight division. Go back and look for title fights in the welterweight division, in the lightweight division. We're going to get rid of all the juniors, okay? We don't need no fucking junior, and supers. The super and the juniors, okay, they can go over somewhere. They can go sit down, okay? We don't need them, right? All right, we don't need, before you know it, they're going to have welterweight division, the third. We don't need that shit. All right, we don't need, the middleweight, the third division that Canelo's fighting in right now. We don't need that, okay? We don't need a middleweight junior, and a middleweight, the third. We don't need that shit, all right? All right, we're going to get rid of that. Whoops, out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of boxing's house. Juniors and all the bastard kids of all these divisions, they need to get the fuck out. Okay, they're all getting out of here. Illegitimate divisions, get the fuck out of here. All right, and we're gonna just have the regular divisions. Go back to the box strike, look at these title fights, and look at the weight that these fighters weighed in at. I'm not saying for a middleweight title fight that they never weighed in at 160, but it was very common to see guys weigh in just above the welterweight limit. Anywhere from 148 to 160. It varied. Depending on the fighter, depending on the fight, depending on the type of strategy they have to have against said opponent. Alright? If they wanted more speed, if they wanted more power, they want whatever the fuck it was. Okay? So we need to get back to that. The only division that has that type of, whatever you want to call it, culture, is the heavyweight division. You've all been stuck in this way. You all believe that this is the only way of survival. You all believe that if they went back to same-day weigh-ins, that it couldn't happen because the fighters, they have to weigh in 20 pounds under their real weight at the scale. That's the only way. That's not the only way. Shut the fuck up. Alright? Would it suck for some fighters? Yes, it would suck a lot. Too bad. Okay, that's just the way it is. No, but what about the short fighters that have big body mass, but they're going to have to fight these big dudes? They're going to have to fight somebody their own size. Like, yeah, they're going to have to fight somebody their own fucking size. All right? Oh, but they're short. So what? Like, that's find a way to win. Right? Like, it's not my problem. Like, it's not boxing's problem because your favorite fighter or certain fighters are going to have a problem with this change. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. Right? That's what they need to do. And it's a more natural thing. There's nothing natural, nothing about stepping on a scale 36, 38 hours before a fight, all right? And pretending that that's the weight that you're fighting at. There's nothing normal about that. What's normal about, let's just totally dehydrate ourselves as much as possible 30 hours before the fight? Like, you know, there's nothing natural and healthy about that. Nothing. The sport needs to make sure that guys are fighting people their own size. Point blank, period. At a macro scale, right? Sure, you're going to have guys that move up and this, that, and the third. But overall, the divisions need to make sense. Okay? Right now, they don't make any sense. Like, totally. There are individuals that carry water weight differently than others. So they're able to dehydrate themselves a lot more than other individuals, just naturally. Right? And what the fuck does that have to do with a fight on fight night? Nothing. Okay? Absolutely nothing. Bring back same-day weigh-ins. It is possible. How do we know? They've already done it. When boxing was one of the top 3 most popular sports, they were doing it. Okay? It's not like, you know, like they were doing it at the height of the sport. You know, it's not like something that they just thought up or, you know, it was just an experiment that lasted like 2 or 3 years. No, this was an experiment. All right? That's what it is, man. The day before weigh-ins, all right, they're just not good for boxing. Okay? They haven't been good for boxing. All it does, it just becomes a game of let's see who can dehydrate themselves as much as possible to gain as much of an advantage the day of the fight if you're naturally the bigger man. That overall, that's what the weigh-ins really come down to and have come down to in many cases, right? And then like there is no reason, none, right, that someone who, like whatever they weigh in at on fight night in the ring, they should be fighting guys who weigh in at that or around that within 10 pounds or so the day of the fight. That's it. Okay? That's it. I mean, that's the argument I've been making for years. And yes, if you go to gyms and you tell fighters, since this is the way, this is how they understand shit. Okay? Any fighter will tell you, right? Any fighter they want to go down as much as possible 30 hours before the fight. As much as possible. You know, that way, you know, it helps them gain an advantage. If they can get an advantage, you know, on fight night, then they're going to take it. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, so, but they need to change it, man. I mean, we're at a point right now where, in my opinion, it needs to change. So, tell me what do you think, right? Now, if you disagree with it, that's fine. But this idea that everybody's going to die, it's a little dramatic, okay? It is a little too dramatic, all right? You know, they're going to die. Like, they'll be fine, right? They'll just have to change the way they do shit. That's it. They're going to have to change the way shit happens. And yes, it's going to suck because some fights are going to get canceled the day of the fight or, you know, or whatever. You find out it's no longer for a title or some shit. But this game they're playing now, where like they suck themselves like skeletons, and then they step on a scale like a fucking skeleton, and then they start sucking on Gatorade non-stop for 10 minutes. Okay. And they go they go up 2 weight classes just drinking fucking Gatorade. This shit's retarded, okay? So that's my take. Those are my thoughts. Peace. Peace the fuck out.